So I've had this VFD for a little while now, and I was never able to get that functioning. But I want to check to see if I can get the spindle running on the WWells Index, and this obviously is my first option. If this doesn't work, then I will use the static phase converter, but I need to harvest a barrel switch or something off of another machine to use this on the WWells Index. And then my third option will be this rotary phase converter. That's only a 3 horsepower motor, and the WWells Index spindle motor is a 2 horsepower, so that's a little bit small for the WWells Index. But right now my goal is just to verify that the spindle motor runs on the CNC machine, and then I will later on down the road, if I need to find a new VFD, I will go that route. So this thing's kind of goofy. I got this initially in January of 2018, and it was just had its capacitors reformed when I got it. I thought that I possibly wasn't going to be able to use it because it says 3-phase input on it, and I don't have 3-phase. I wanted it as a 3-phase converter, to use it as a 3-phase converter initially. And so when I got it, I didn't do anything with it because it was a 3-phase unit, and I was told to keep, plug it in every 6 months or so to keep the capacitors charged, and I didn't do anything with it for a whole year. So I plugged it into 220 single phase after a year, and I kept getting this code fault 04, which is under voltage. And so I thought, okay, I can't use it on single phase. And then I tried, for some reason, randomly, I tried to plug it into my static phase converter just to see what would happen. And the plugging into static phase converter, it didn't do the fault 04 anymore. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of weird that it would run off of a fake 3-phase. But it did. So then I had put it away. And that was February of 2019. I haven't done anything with it since then, but I really wanted to use it for the CNC. So I tried again for some reason on 220 single phase, and it didn't throw fault code 04. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But when I tried to plug it into the WWells Index, nothing was happening. And there was a few things going on with that that I couldn't, did a lot of reading. I almost kind of gave up on it. But I had a super long cord going from this to the WWells Index, and I read that was bad. It was an extremely heavy cord, but they recommend not to do that. And so I tried it on, I took the Dayton motor off of the rotary phase converter that came with the WWells Index, and kept playing with it. And finally I decided to go into the settings and reset everything to the factory default, and then these two lights right here lit up green, and I was able to power the rotary phase converter motor off of this. That's a 3-horse motor, and so let's go ahead and try it on the wells again. We'll just wire it differently. I'll run a longer cord from the plug to this, and then a short cord from this to the WWells Index. This is it's rated for 5 horsepower, so I think with single phase coming into this thing should be plenty big enough for the WWells Index. the machine. The only thing I didn't do was hook up the magnetic brake. I'm not really sure how to do that with the VFD. I might, you know, at some point probably figure out how to just deal with that in the controller and the CNC software and just remove the magnetic brake altogether. It was a bit quieter once I put some more oil in the head, and when I turned it on, it like flung some chunks at me. I don't know what that was exactly, but the belt's in really good shape, so it wasn't pieces of rubber or anything. It could have been, you know, mouse or something. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty happy with that. The spindle runs and everything sounds good and feels good. So with that, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.